Hey there, happy Thursday. So, I unexpectedly found myself at home today, and because some things need to be taken care of here, and it was just some responsibilities I couldn't shake. So, I had an opportunity to talk to one or two friends about, current energetic events, what's happening, and this exuberance of enthusiasm, this energetic feeling of optimism for no apparent reason, just feeling like life is good as it is, and changes are happening within that, and they're all beyond so much that we can do as an individual, but as a collective, just raising our vibrations to enthusiastic joy and hitting some bliss points is sometimes just all you need to do is just vibrate on a different chord in accordance with the instruments within the symphony in which we all participate. So with that being said, I was then sitting here saying, okay, guides, I need to see, sense, and feel more. I need some better communication. And I sense it's happening, but what do I need to know? So I got my Lemurian Star Child cards out because they called me. And I started shuffling, and I just said, let's talk about communication. Better communication, etc., etc. And of course, one very beautiful card pops out onto the floor. Now I'm seeing the card on the floor and I'm thinking light language, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to have to start speaking it, learning it, or it's going to come through, or I need to pay attention to the light codes within the light language, etc. So as I pick up the card, I then read down here on the bottom, which says universal language of oneness, of love, listening to your heart, with your heart speaks to all life, listen to communicate, heart speaks, language of life, authenticity and love, language of oneness, molecules of light, are all kind of within that description of what the card means. And so it then says, I receive the light language in this picture with my whole body to activate and initiate my divine gifts of multidimensional communication. That's powerful. So I'm going to read that again. I receive the light language in this picture with my whole body to activate and initiate my divine gifts of multidimensional communication. And what was I asking for? Communication. So then I went on to read about multidimensional communication. In light language gives relief to those who have difficulty with linear communication and blesses all of us with beautiful Lemurian light codes. It comes through from the higher self and from many angels and guides who would love you to express it in words, song, art, and dance. So it then brought me to, yes, there's language in art. It's an expression. It's an energetic chord. There's a language within dance, an expression of movement of the body. There is language and communication within all the multidimensional languages. Things just may sound different or be pronounced different, or different words mean different things. But there's something in the vocal cords that have this rhythmic, glamorous expression that is unique to the individual, but is received as communication to others. And so I'm hearing the universal smile right now has a very strong vibrational light language to it. And so I'm also being shown right now a dementia client that I work with as support care. And even though the mind goes in and out of remembering what we just talked about, that universal smile that I keep brings this tuning, this fine tuning of my energy that then becomes more compliant and brings rhythm and energy to them, which brings a calm. And they begin to remember more as they speak to me. And I've just lately been in awe of this passion that I feel to work with communicating. So we can communicate even though we have different language barriers, and we can communicate even though we may have some mental hiccups. We can still communicate. And that universal smile lets everybody know that we're receiving them and we're sending it back out. You know, I live here in the DC area, so we have many that come from other countries here, more than other places, from multidimensional countries that come here all around the globe and may not know the American way, and they're not sure, but they take walks. And so when I pass them on my walk, I'm smiling. And sometimes I'll say good morning, or I'll say hello, and they'll just nod. And because they've received it, even though they really have no clue what words I've just spoken, they've just received an energetic light language that's in the name of love. So getting this card, my head started to buzz. And when my head buzzes, that is an indication to me energy is flowing through. So I held the card in my hand, as I will many times, and I allow it to just interact with my physical, mental, etheric, spiritual, emotional, heart self. And so I allow it to come in even on levels that I may not know I even have in the ethers. And I know that I am communing with my guides, my angels, my team, my higher self, because those are the people that speak through me, because they're all fragments of me. And so then reading this, I just had a smile on my face, which just felt like every pathway in my veins was just moving. There was no obstacles or blockages in the pathways of my body. And it's an interesting feeling. I don't know if any of you have ever felt that. Please let me know in the comments if you have. So really the affirmation for this is I receive the gifts of sacred communication. I receive the gifts of sacred communication. And that's exactly what I was asking for. In this whole deck of cards, I had no idea which one was going to pop out. And when this one landed on the floor, I kind of had another idea about it as I was looking at it, leaning down to pick it up. But I'm absolutely pleasantly floored and surprised, but yet not surprised, the powerful message that I've received exactly what I asked for. I'm receiving exactly what I asked for, and then some. So I received the light language in this picture with my whole body to activate and initiate my divine gifts of multidimensional communication. Now, I'm going to hold this up because if anybody wants to zoom into it and just take a look, I literally took my finger and started tracing some of it just because kinesthetically I get messages through my fingertips as I'm a feeler. I get communication in other dominant ways than just hearing, sight, and translating. So I get a lot of information in the unspoken. It's the unspoken energetics that I read, I think is one of a big activation for me all my life. And I've had to learn to communicate other ways, which has sometimes made me feel like something's wrong with me. Like my brain doesn't function like other people's brains do. And so my communication is very simple. And I don't need big words and big analogies and physics and things that are very complicated for me. So I struggled through school because I didn't understand the way school was trying to communicate with me. And I know many of you have also experienced many of this. So my communication is through the doing, through the physical movement, through the energetics, through reading the energy. And so I'm trying to hear and see my guides more, but in my conversation this morning with a friend of mine, discussing communication, discussing the optimistic energetics that are happening and the nausea some people are feeling. And, just in my own demographics here, I got somebody with a stomach virus. I got somebody with a UTI, let go is now kidney. I've got people just going through waves of nausea and dizziness. I've got some people feeling very stiff in their bodies. I've got some people feeling low-mo, just feeling real low-mo. So there's so many things going on right now. And again, it always comes back to merging what doesn't serve, purging it, putting it into a spiritual sack, loving it, blessing it, forgiving it, dousing it, saying thanks with gratitude for all that it's taught you, good, bad, and indifferent, sending it back to source. So you're decluttering and cleaning out the systems. So with that being said, I have been seeing so many more symbols and so many different light color sparkles and flashes. I've always seen them, but I'm seeing more consistently of them. And I have to keep my eye on the road sometimes because I just kind of want to be like, oh yeah, squirrel. I've been watching the Squirrel Show pretty steady since our LD in 2020. I was getting real bored with them, but I made it fun watching their energetics. I got the biggest kick out of it. So my friends would call and say, what are you doing? I said, just watching another episode of the Squirrel series. Anyway, We're going to go in and out of thought processes. We'll be in the middle of a conversation. Your thought will just gone. Just gone. You won't figure out what day it is. You just won't. You won't know about the time clocks. You'll just be like, what just happened? I don't understand. Lately, I'm driving distances and I'm like, this usually takes me an hour. I feel like I was here in 5 minutes. And I look down at the clock and I'm like, what just happened here? What just happened here? So we're going through all of these energetic changes, but be optimistic about them with enthusiasm. Hit your joy and your bliss points, because it's gonna be a funner ride. It's gonna be truly a magic carpet ride, what they're showing me right now. And it's gonna be airy and movement. And let what's gonna play out there play out. Stop listening to things that tell you fear is coming, or to anticipate that you need to be doing something to make things better or anchor yourself. No, you need to tune in to your own remote control, your own vehicle, and start commanding it. Start being the commander of it. And you may have no taste for food right now, but please make sure you hydrate. And usually times like this, I find myself munching on crap. And I've put the brakes on with that. And I went and I bought more fruit. And I got a really good metal detox shake that I can make, that a friend sent me through a medical medium book that she's liking and digging. But there's many out there, choose whatever. And just wanting to be a little lighter with the body, because we're coming into darker, denser times with less light here in the northern hemisphere. We're coming into the holidays, which are going to bring up a lot of stuff. So if the body is taxed and it's not really functioning at higher functions, because it's getting bogged down with foods and chemicals and just emotional stuff, try to see if you can lighten up on what it is that you're putting in the pie hole, and see if you can rejuice that energy and reuse it to maybe work better with maybe some emotions that are coming up. Maybe there's some abandonment. Maybe there's some angst about family gatherings. Whatever it may be, just know that you, my friends, my dear, beautiful friends, are enough. You're enough just as you are. Be kind, be compassionate, share the universal smile. Let it come out your eyes. Let it just ooze from every pore. And oozing that universal love will dissipate all the stuff that doesn't serve you. It'll transmute it instantly. Let the tears flow. Let your heart just be in a space of just pure gratitude. Pure gratitude. And see if your listening ears and your seeing eyes and your sensories start to sense different things. Focus on good night sleeps, electronical detachments, sleep hygiene. Yeah. Preset yourself before you step anywhere. From the time you get up, throughout the day to the time you go to bed, set that dial. If you need any help on this journey, embodimenttothesoul.com. I'm here for you. All right? Please like, subscribe, and share. By all means, leave me a message. Thanks.